D12.
Yo, what's good, y'all? This is Doug E. Fresh.
Hey, Redman is in the building. You already know.
Hey guys, this is Emily Peachy.
Shout out, man, to Worldwide Collaborations, man.
I want to shout out Worldwide Collaborations, LLC.
Shout out to the Worldwide Collaborations, LLC.
World movement, beyond thousands of movements.
The world movement, beyond thousands of movements.
All about representing each other together. So check this out.
What's up? You want to be a part of this? You want to be a part of the Worldwide Collaboration?
You guys should all be a part of Worldwide Collaboration.
Worldwide Collaborations, LLC. Check us out, man, and check what's going on, man. Word up. I have recently been choosing to be a spokesman and an ambassador, so you will see a lot more of me. Join the movement, man. It's beyond thousands of movements right now and talents put together, all about representing each other together.
I want to join, so I might see you there. All right, much success.
It is a worldwide collaboration song.
Yeah. Look, brainstorming, creative thinking, and new ideas, inventing inventions, representing everything, having members collaborate. Worldwide collaborations, ongoing visualizations, programming operations, bringing everyone together equals more motivation. In the situation we live in, there is no concentration. All the people in the world, but no consideration.
All right, we're back to another star-studded episode of the Chatterbox with King Jacob. I'm your host, King Jacob, and thank you for tapping in with us this evening. And now I want to say shout out to the Worldwide Collaboration, my up north family, man, who all embraced me all through New York, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Bronx, Long Island, Queens Bridge, all of them. Shout out to all, man, that have embraced me for the last 25 years. I appreciate it, most definitely. So, we have another special invited guest, man. Listen, man. What I can say about this is the era of hip hop that older people say, "Oh yeah, he fire." You can actually understand what he say. He uses all his syllables. You know what I mean? So none other than the man Tre-Dot. What's up, man? What's going on?
What's happening, man? Gotta let those syllables come out.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So before we get started, man, just want to ask you, who is Tre-Dot, and just want you to tell all us who you are, where you from, and how long you been into this music world.
Well, I'm born and raised in New York City, man. So hip hop is always a part of you. Growing up in New York, whether it's graffiti, DJing, breakdancing, everybody had something. I grew up playing the saxophone in the band, all that kind of stuff. Always been around music, but MCing started taking it seriously as a teenager, and then within life, off and on, stop and start. Then I started going back real hard body, man, maybe 5 years ago, and now we came up with the plan to do what we got going on now. I got a podcast with a good friend of mine, the Black Male Podcast. We took a little life break. I mean, we about 170 episodes in with that. Doing a release party August 30th. This is going to be major for what we're doing musically. I got like 3 EPs that's going to be ready at the same time. We don't know how we're really going to release it, but we're going to have exclusive copies on a CD with all 3 EPs that we're going to have for that show and that we're going to be selling through BandCamp, to see how the vibe go, and then we're going to see how we're going to do it digitally. But we're not doing streaming. We're doing everything direct to consumer. So, we want to bring that direct to consumer experience back to the game, like from the era where I'm from, and that connection with the artist and the consumer. That's what we're really working on. So that's really what I'm about. Tre-Dot, that's what I'm about, man. Working with the people, direct to consumer. I'm looking to get into therapy sometime soon. I'm doing my studies now to get my certification. So all of that we're going to put together, and we got a clothing line called Love Mag. Actually, Love Makes a Difference, which is the title of one of the EPs, and also my father's trial sermon. Like, he started preaching when I was a teenager, so that's where Love Mag comes from, and that's going to be the brand. So we got a totality of things coming out to the people.
I love to hear that. Yeah. I love to hear that, man.
Yeah,
for sure. So, man, NYC,
Yeah, most definitely.
you know, MCing, breakdancing,
Everything.
graffiti.
Yeah.
You know, when every kid in America thought they was the human beatbox.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I mean? When every kid in America was like, how Dougie Fresh do that?
Yeah, Doug was dope. Doug
How
still is dope.
how he be a slim fella with not that much wind that can do all that? You know, when the human beatbox did, they was like, oh, you know, big boy, okay, we see.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when Doug did it, he's like Doug, now to scratch with it and just make it sound like it's a whole record. I was like, man, listen, I tell people all the time. I've been to a lot of hip hop concerts in my life, man.
Yeah.
But it's never been a show that I felt like I was at a party inside of a concert like Dougie Fresh, bro.
Well, he's the great. That's why he called himself the world's greatest entertainer. You know, hip hop used to be fun. Like now, you know, when you watch shows, man, it's like everybody's rapping on top of the record. Nobody's really having fun. You know, either everybody's high, spazzed out, or they just, you know, doing some freaky shit. You know, it's not really about the music anymore. And you know, the world changes, man. Culture sometimes changes. We allow it to change. Like a lot of us step back away from the culture. You know, a lot of people stop making music. A lot of people making music started making music to appeal to other crowds, and it just threw the culture off a little bit.
Right. So,
I think it's coming to light now, man. There's some quality stuff that's out there now. It's just so hard to find.
right. It's still some authentic sounds out there.
It always will be. Always will be.
So tell me the year you got started hip hop. Like when you said I can do this.
The first recording I did was probably '86. First time I really recorded something, and that's when I finished high school in North Carolina, and I met a guy that ended up being my cousin, and he was a DJ. So he had DJ equipment, you know, back in his bedroom, which is funny because he was from the country when the country was the country. But on the turntables, I mean, dude was just phenomenal. I was like, how the fuck you nice on these turntables and you live out here? But every day he was just on them shits. So those are my first recordings, just messing with him, 2 turntables and a mic. And then, you know, when I went to college, I was rhyming with my partner, man. We was doing the college radio thing for a while. And, you know, that's how things got started, man. When college radio was really, really, really fire. You know what I mean? College radio was crazy back then. You know, it was all hip hop back then. Like you go up to the station, everything was live. You know, everything was pure. You know, it wasn't really a lot of money involved. We were just doing it because everybody wanted to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be good at their craft. You know, it was good time, man. Good energy.
So you said 86, man. I was a young boy then, but I remember my uncle saying, my uncle was saying the bridge is over. You know.
Yeah.
I remember my female cousin, you know, down here in Carolina, you know, with the North Faces on.
North Face, yeah.
And with the toboggans on, and they had the little boombox talking about Roxanne.
Yeah.
You know, so Roxanne, Shantae, Roxanne.
Yeah.
Just Ice, 3 times dope. You know, people like that, and MC Shan, of course. You know what I mean?
Legend.
Yeah. So when you say 86, man, we talking about an era of hip hop where, you know, I used to see the older cats have a 4-deck producer, 4 tracks. You know what I mean? Not even this big old huge board or just like 4 little samples. You know what I mean? And somebody had a mic and somebody had a Casio keyboard, and that's how they make music. You know what I mean? So the whole genre of producing and MCing and you know, dancing and you know, graffiti, all of it came a long way. But I just feel like the younger kids now don't know nothing about what that means. and what that meant to people like you and I, what that meant to a whole type of culture when hip hop stood for education, the essence of the community, and the value of loving one another. And so, why do you think we've lost that?
Well, it's all in our communities. I mean, we lost our communities as well. I mean, it goes into fathers being in the home. It goes into the older influences in the communities. Like I grew up, we had older influences. You know what I'm saying? As far as the music, I mean, all the record labels that brought the independent, groundbreaking music, we sold those. You know what I mean? And radio sales advertising anyway. They're not there to maintain our culture. You know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of feedback. I don't know if it's me or what's going on. But it's a culture thing, man. We basically we gave away the grip of the culture. You know, and you have a lot of these kids that ended up raising themselves. And then when they become adults, you know, this is what we have. When you look in our communities, a lot of these adults, you know, they still got the minds of children. You know, they're still doing a lot of wild out children things. They don't have people, you know, pulling them by the coattail and saying, yo, this is this is that. They don't have that direction. They're not getting that guidance. Not saying all the guidance we got was good guidance, but we did have a balance of guidance coming up. But there's not a lot of that going on. You know, there's the fathers in the home is decreasing by a lot. You know, not saying a single mother can't do her thing. Some single mothers are doing some great things. But it's obvious that the absence of the fathers in the home is a big problem in our community. And these kids that are raising themselves, that's the next generation of hip hop artists. You know, those are the next generation of fathers. So you have a couple generations down where fathers weren't really holding it down. And this is the result you get.
Right.
You know, what we get. And the generation gap is crazy. Like an MC my age shouldn't have a problem talking to a younger MC. We don't have to do music with each other. We don't have to like each other's music. But there's still dialogue that should be had between generations. More so as now it's like, oh, that old ass nigga. Somebody want to hear what the fuck he talking about. Or you look at them young people, you be like, them dumb ass niggas, them tight ass clothes. It's like we always find something to have a problem with each other with. And that's not helping nobody either.
You're right. I tried to tell my little cousin, I was like, man, what are y'all listening to, man? He said, we listen to what the younger culture listen to. You know?
That's about all that's presented to them.
Yeah, and he's like, it's no disrespect from people like a Jada Kiss or a Big Daddy Kane or people like a Jay-Z or Ice Cube and stuff like that. You know, I was around y'all young, so I grew up listening to all of that. But, you know, I listened to, you know, what my generation listened to. I listen to, you know, what I hear some of the chicks bumping, you know, because you're going to listen to what your generation listens to. But at the same time, man, I still have those old school vibes. You know, I still listen to Paid in Full. You know, I still listen to Ain't No Half Stepping. You know, because that's what I used to hear y'all listen to. So for you, as far as when it comes to you in the studio and you working with an engineer and a producer, what embraces that fact that you want to keep on working with them after the first time?
I've been working with the same guy for a while. You know, he's like my man Ski Sharp is like a brother to me, so I don't really have that issue. But you know, we just had a connection years ago, and the fact that we got a connection outside of music makes the music better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So within that makes it easy to get things going on. That makes it easy to keep putting out material because we know each other. So he kind of knows the kind of beats to throw my direction. He knows the kind of things I want to talk about. You know, he knows the kind of, you know, outreach I want to have and the people I'm trying to touch within the music. So that makes it easier. So I'm not just working with random people. So we actually created a sound. We actually created a brand. So that works for me. I don't see how people just work with random producers. I mean, you're just throwing a bunch of music out there with no content, basically. You know, so I'm getting a little feedback, man. I don't know if it's my mic. Hold on,
Maybe.
I'm gonna unplug my mic and just talk straight to the laptop and see how it's
Okay,
hold up. Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can.
Is it still that same feedback? I'm trying to see. It still is a little bit. I'm just gonna do it without the mic. If you can hear me, I'll just go from there.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right. But really, that's what it is, man. I think now, and then everybody has studios in their home now, so it's not really the same thing as people just going in the studio and working. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of just walk up in there, punch in. Everybody's just punching in. So they're just you know what I'm saying? So it's not really trying to be dope. It's not really trying to make dope content as much anymore. And a lot of the beats actually sound the same. You know what I mean? It's just it's the wave of popularity that's going on now. And social media kind of makes it a little bit worse because that's what's popular and that's what the masses are going for, and that's what goes viral. So that's where we at right now. But it can be rebuilt, it can be restructured. You know, sometimes you got to destroy and rebuild. But the generation gap is a very huge problem, man. Because some of these young dudes are really just doing what they know. You
Okay,
know,
so
whether we agree with it or not, they're doing what they know.
right. So when you say rebuild and restructure, how would you rebuild and restructure? So
Everything rebuilds from the underground. You could take something simple as Snoop Dogg buying Death Row. He has control of the content he puts out on that label.
right,
You know what I'm saying? He's just one person, but people with the power to put out product, you know, they have the power to put out quality material. You know what I'm saying? And it takes more quality material out there to make a difference. You know what I mean? Because there's no balance in the music. You know, like I always say to my son still listens to Tribe Called Quest, but he grew up listening to what I listen to. But the thing is, the balance of music isn't there. There was trash music when I was young too. All MCs weren't good. I'm not gonna act like all the music is good.
You're right.
The balance now was off. It's way off.
Right. So you say your son still listening to Tribe?
Yeah.
Okay. How old is your son?
My son is 30.
30. He's still listening to Tribe. So
Yeah.
so is he an MC as well?
Nah, I mean he might deal with dabble to do something. He got a podcast with his partners on, you know, sports podcast, but I never heard him rhyme or nothing like that. But I'm sure he probably had his time where he spit a little something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hip hop is within him, so ain't no telling.
Right. And
I wouldn't be surprised if he did. You know, he don't tell me about it though.
Right. I mean, you know, you've been in this music business for a very long time, so just to tell you, his father, about it and be like, man, I don't even know how my dad would respond, man. Like, he been doing this thing on a high level for a long time, so if I come, I gotta come correct. Nah, I'm gonna just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about. So, as far as how many projects have you put out over the course of the years since you've been in music?
Oh man, I put out at least 5 mixtapes, and I would say maybe two albums.
Okay.
Whole lot of music I didn't really put out there like that. I mean, I've been on over 1,000 mixtapes in my time. You know what I mean? I've always kept a tight connection with DJs and shit like that. This is the first time I'm really taking the time to put out, you know, a catalog of projects where I can say this EP, and be consistent with it. You know what I mean? For a long time, I was just like, I went a whole year where I put out a new record every Wednesday. So I was just staying with the DJs, putting out music, trying to get my brand and building the people. So right now, really is the first time I'm really concentrating on putting projects out, more so than just random music.
Okay, and so with that being said, let's talk about the mixtape scene. And the mixtape scene, which is the underground scene, which is being in heavy conversation, heavy communication, heavy networking with the DJs. You know, because if you bumping in the streets, then it's gonna get to somebody's radio station, whether it's college, whether it's internet, whether it's serious satellite radio, or whether it's FM. Somebody gonna hear about you.
Eventually,
and so with that being said, how did that mixtape, that mixtape, thing do for you, man? As far as because you say you put out several mixtapes, man. So how did it increase the movement?
Well, for me back then, it did a lot because I was able to meet people overseas. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to generate revenue with the video games. You know what I'm saying? So I met people that took me somewhere where I had no idea was a possibility. You know what I mean? So the power of the internet can give you that. And also the power of the internet can get you on these radio shows that are syndicated on several locations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I was able to capitalize off of all of that. And then a lot of people I met back then, they still DJ now. So that's a connection I already have. And the toughest thing as an artist is just getting your music heard. You know, you want people to hear you. Because,
Right.
you know, these DJs might get 200 emails a day. But once you build that relationship, your email will be one of the ones they open and listen to. You know, that's what you build. That's what you want to build towards an artist. Just being an artist that can grab a person's ear. Now, once you have their ear, you got to have that quality content to reel them in to where they become a listener. You know, I don't like the term follower, but they become a listener. They become a person that wants to be engaged in what you're doing, whatever it is. That's the toughest thing. You know, I'm sure you get a lot of emails. If you don't recognize it, you might open it, you might not.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails, not only for the podcast, but I actually work for a PR firm as well. So I get tons of emails.
Yeah, but the thing is, I want you to know if you see Tre-Dot, even if you're busy, I'm gonna see what my man is doing. Let's see what he got going.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. So with Tre-Dot, you're in the streets with these mixtapes, and do you recall what was your favorite mixtape that you recorded, man? Like what is the mixtape that was your favorite? So I'm gonna ask you two questions. What was your personal favorite mixtape, and what was the street's favorite mixtape?
Man, that's a good question, man. The one, I don't know, one that did the best for me, I would say Carolina Feel Good Music, but that one was actually out on iTunes. That was the first like project I kind of put together. You could say it was a mixtape because it wasn't on a label or nothing. I just threw it on iTunes, like when iTunes first got started. I mean, it actually sold close to a couple thousand. You know what I'm saying? Which was dope at that time. You know, creating a buzz and getting things moving.
Right.
So, you know, I would say that one. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple videos off of there that did pretty well. And around that time, I had obtained management in Japan. And that's what put me on to the video games and shit. So I would say Carolina Feel Good Music. I would say that. And that's still online. You know, you can listen to that shit for free now. It's online. So I would say Carolina Feel Good Music most definitely got me started.
Okay. So did you have a chance to go overseas?
Well, I didn't. I mean, certain things in life kept me from leaving the country for a long time. So, you know, I couldn't really get a passport and make moves like that for a long time. But now, you know, we're in the process of doing some things, man. I'm hoping to get on a couple tours next year and see what we can make happen.
Oh yeah. Oh, you gonna make it happen?
Yeah.
For sure. Because it's already been destined for greatness, but you just had prior situations that wouldn't let you leave. So now it's gonna happen. So.
Well, the funny thing about overseas, man, they don't care if you're 90 years old, man. If that song slap, bro, they with you, bro. It ain't like here. You know what I'm saying? The love for the culture in other countries is just crazy, yo. Like a lot of artists that people think are washed up and not doing anything anymore. I mean, they go overseas and they coming home with $1 million, man, just touring. You know, doing what they love to do. You know, that's all I want to do. You know, do what I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy putting this music together. And you know, when I had a release party, you're gonna see how the people respond to it. It's gonna be a free event. You know, I'm gonna have a drummer, you know, drummer and keyboard player. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it live, had a nice live element, and see how the people respond, man.
So
put the live show out there.
So are you still in NYC?
Nah, I'm in North Carolina now, man. I've been in North Carolina for a while, man. I'm moving to California next year.
Where you
at? California next year, anyway.
Where you at in North Carolina?
I'm in Durham.
Okay. I'm in South Carolina, so we ain't too bad far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's dope. So So now let's talk about Only You. That's
Yeah.
a single. That's your single, right?
That's the last single. The single now is Love Story, but Only You is one of my singles too. That's a single.
Right. So let's talk about Only You, man, and let's talk about the creation of it and how you put that together.
Well, I was feeling kind of funny, man, and then my man made a beat. He put a beat together and he sent it to me, man. And he said he just wanted me to talk about something to the people, man. So I just thought about a situation when, you fall in love or feel like you're in love, and that one person is just that special person that makes you think about life. You know what I'm saying? So I just wrote a song about conquering depression and meeting somebody that makes you feel like everything is worth it. And that's how it came out, man. We did the lyric video. We went out to the botanical gardens because I got a thing for flowers. I love flowers and shit. So we went out there and did a lyric video to kind of match what I was talking about. That's what Only You really was, man. And that's gonna be on the EP called Love Makes a Difference, where every record is speaking on love in some aspect, whether it's love for a person, whether it's a love for life, or even a love for the culture of hip hop. And put it together in a metaphorical sense and making it be a little stronger.
Okay. That's dope. So what about your current single?
Well, Love Story, that's what it is. It's a love story. It can also be related to hip hop, but if you want to make a hip hop a woman, you know what I'm saying, or a woman give you that feeling like of hip hop. So that's what it basically does. It just runs it down. It's a little bit more up tempo beat, man. The drums is real heavy on that joint. Got a video out for that as well. We just started pushing that single, so it's already getting some spins on some mixed shows and doing pretty well so far. So that's what we're doing with that, man. That's also going to be on the EP. Love Makes a Difference. So that's what it is. Most of my songs is introspective. I don't waste a lot of rhymes. I don't waste a lot of bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm usually talking about something. A lot of times I'm dealing with the science of the mind, or relationships, how to maintain relationships. The funny thing is, a lot of my songs are prophetic because a lot of the songs I did previously, when I listen to them now, there's some things I've been going through recently. Because I had like a little 30-day funk, man, when I was out of it a little bit, and I had to regroup and listen to my own music. A lot of times was telling me about myself without realizing they was telling me about myself. So a lot of things I was writing actually came to pass in my life now.
Okay. So your writing was very therapeutic.
It was, but the thing is, the hardest thing to do is to listen to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Listening to myself, I was like, oh shit, damn, okay, cool. This is where I'm at, this is where I was, this is where I don't need to be again. You know what I mean? I got all that just from listening to myself through the music. So for people that think music isn't therapeutic or music can't make a difference, I mean, I don't know what they're listening to. Music has always made a difference in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It has the power to do that. Music has the power to create mood and emotion. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of MCs don't take that power. They don't utilize that power.
I can dig.
They don't exercise that strength. There's power in that. If I can play a song for you when you hear it and you actually close your eyes and nod your head and leave with something, then I feel like I made a good song.
Mm-hmm. That's
but also have fun with it. Not like I'm preaching to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got True Sister Craig tapping in. The owner of Flex Zone Radio, and I'll definitely make that plug for you as well before you come on our show for sure. Definitely, man. Thank you for tapping in. Now, it's funny. Now, what you said about closing your eyes, I heard Barry Gordy say something one day. This was way back when I was younger, man. This was like when I think this had to be when I was a kid and Michael Jackson first went solo. I can remember watching him and watching just an interview he did. I think it was an interview with, was it Dick Casey? Somebody, I think that's the name. It was like how he find hits is he just sit there and close his eyes and he'll listen to the song about 5 times back to back, and he'll just visualize what demographic it should be in, the artist, and he said that's how he used to find hits for the Temptations and the Four Tops and people like that, man.
Yeah, I heard that story. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know when you can close your eyes and just really listen to it and just really listen to the words and the meaning of the words while they're singing or while they're rapping, man, it's different, man. It's different. You know what I mean? So I can dig it, man. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break, my brother, and we'll be right back with none other, man, than Tre-Dot, man. You know, I'm gonna say Tre-Dot, the global MC, but you know, you get it. We'll be back.
All right.
Shout out to the men that just came home from jail and said no matter what the circumstances is, I'm never going back. Shout out to the men that said I'm tired of neglecting my children. I'm stepping up and being a man for my children, teaching them morals, honor, responsibility. Shout out to the men that say, you know what, I'm tired of sleeping on that couch. I'm tired of using my mother. I'm tired of using that girl. I'm going to step up and be a man for me. Shout out to the men that just graduated from college or going to college. Shout out to the men that graduated from trade school. Shout out to the men that say, yo, I'm just tired of being tired and I need to make a change. Shout out to the men that stayed there, that's raising their children. Shout out to the men that's getting married or want to stay married. Shout out to the men that's taking care of children that's not biologically theirs. Shout out to the men that's trying to figure it out. Shout out to the men because you are a beautiful soul. Shout out to the men that's just being a part of everybody's life to make a change, man. Stop the violence.
Shout out to the men, you know.
Yeah, that was dope.
That was my homie B McFly out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, man.
Okay.
You know, working with this nonprofit and just trying to get more programs in the inner school system. You know, after school programs and you know all the above, man, and trying to get them trades back into the school system. You know, or you know you already got a contracted license by the time you finish high school and stuff like that. You know, those type of trades. So shout out to him.
That's dope.
The politics of the music business. Would you like to touch base on that?
I mean, it's always been there. I mean, it's not like it's anything new. Artists can have a better knowledge of what's really going on. We can pass on the knowledge better than probably we've been doing. Like everybody thinks they know what they're doing, and nobody doesn't. You know, people are signing these bad deals. It's always been that way. It's going to continue because people are more so in tune with trying to be famous than they are for building generational wealth and maybe creating a brand. You know, there are some young brothers that's doing it right and actually using the system to their advantage. But, you know, most people, they come and go. Like most of this microwave music, there's a different person put on the forefront, you know, every couple months that you never see again. You know, the music business isn't in place to create a good lifestyle for you and your family. You know what I'm saying? It's a power structure that promotes a brand to generate revenue. They don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? If I got a hit record, they're answering all my phone calls. But as soon as I have a couple records that don't do well, they're not answering my calls anymore. So, I mean, the game has always been that way.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, artists and people in general have to be equipped to have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. You know what I'm saying? You should never put all your eggs in one basket anyway. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of artists that they look at this music as that's the only way out. That's the only way they can do anything in life.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's not the kind of business you can really put that effort into. Now, if you're 16, 17 years old, I mean, fine. Well, you start getting your 30s, you got your kids to raise and everything. I mean, you're chasing record deals. It's not a realistic vision.
It's not. Now, though. So this is what I want to ask. Since we're talking about the politics of music, when an artist is trying to get a publishing deal, record deal, or a marketing developmental deal, I've been around this music business for a very long time, man. And when I talk to artists about leveraging their intellectual property to get revenue from a major corporation, whether it be a label, whether it be a hedge fund group, whether it be an angel investor, whether it be a private investor. You can leverage your intellectual property, because within your intellectual property, and if you've been doing it for a while, there's equity in your intellectual property as well, where you can negotiate those deals where if they want a personal in intellectual property, then Universal, I need about, 3% on the gross value of merchandise through Universal every quarter. And so why don't you think artists break down the finances like that within their music career?
Well, first of all, you have to build to a point to where an investor would even care.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You still got to develop a brand.
Right.
You got to be able to present your brand.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to communicate your brand. And you got to be able to communicate a lifespan of your brand and how it's going to excel and how it's going to grow. You know what I mean? That's something that, me and my people be working on now. And like for myself, I would say, I smoke an occasional cigar and I drink single malt whiskey, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's attached to my brand. A company like that would want to come attached to my brand. If I could show them I have a following, if I show them I have a reach, you know what I mean? I can promote those cigars. I can promote that single malt whiskey. I got a beard. I can promote beard care. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into the world of therapy, so I can also promote health and wellness. See what I'm saying? Everybody has to be able to take their brand and see how they can branch it out and be an asset. You know what I mean? You can become an asset to someone else and them an asset to you as well, because they're giving you an extra push. They have to treat themselves as a business. And a lot of people struggle with that because they're too focused on famous. They're viral, they focus on just being hit.
Okay. Well, you got a point. Major point.
When you lit on the surface, you're gonna burn down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to be lit on the surface. I want to build a community.
Right.
And that community is myself and everybody else that's around me, where we can grow, where we can get these sync licenses with these TV shows, we get these sync licenses with these films, the things that last for generations. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about going viral on TikTok or viral on Instagram, because those are quick flash in the pan things. Now they help. If it happens, I accept it. But even with that, I'm going to expand from that and use that as growth. That's a seed. You know what I'm saying? It's a microwave society, man. Everything is just microwavable. Even with podcasting, if a person doesn't make money off podcasting by episode 10, they're going to quit. You know what I'm saying? So whether you're seeking sponsorships or you're trying to develop your own network, it takes time. And within that time, you're going to have times when you're going to be ready to quit. You're going to have times where you're going to have to take a break. That just makes you human. But the thing is, building a solidified brand to where you can reach out to investors and you can show them, look, this is what I did with no money. Imagine what I can do with that backing. I did this with nothing. I did this grassroots. And you can show them, I went from this amount of followers to this amount of followers. I got these amount of donations. I got these amount of sales, or whatever it is. I got this amount of watch hours just from doing a show every week that I'm doing in my bedroom. Imagine if I could do this, if I could do that. I did this with this kind of camera. Imagine if I had the quality cameras and had the editing capabilities of really putting these things together. There's so many ways you can do it, and it's still not guaranteed, but at least you're presenting a brand to someone. You're presenting them with a seed. If we plant this seed, with your assistance or with your investment, this is what we can do. This is what people miss out on. They don't even know how to communicate their brand. A lot of artists can't even tell you what they stand for. You know what I mean? They can't tell you what kind of music they're doing. They can't tell you why they do the music they're doing. They can't tell you how they want to be received as an artist. When they do a photo shoot, all they do is throw out some clothes and take some pictures. You know what I'm saying? When you ask a person, what were you thinking when you made this song? What were you thinking when you made that album? What were you thinking when you made that EP? They can't give you nothing because there's no media training anymore. Before they had media training where people were trained how to have these conversations. Now, everybody's on their own and they really don't understand the value of each interview. I mean, your podcast could have 10 listeners, but 8 of those listeners could be somebody that can help my career.
That's right. That's right.
So talking to you, I have to value every time I have the floor to speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can't waste my dialogue. I can't waste my responses. It's like even with you as a podcaster, you can't waste your questions.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't waste your episodes.
Right.
people had that thought process, then they would plant the seeds of growth, and people would see those seeds planted and how they grow. And then it'll be easier to approach somebody and be like, look, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. This is what I plan to do. Together, we can make this happen. And it might take you 100 people until that 101 decides, okay, I'm gonna mess with you. So you gotta keep going. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I tell people all the time, man. They're just like, man, what took you so long to do the podcast, man? I was like, oh man, because a lot of people know that that my father had us speaking in church real early. You know what I mean? And they be like, your pastor Ben had thrown y'all out there to the wolves and had y'all speaking about this and speaking about that and you know, you always could just speak to anybody, whether it's 10 or 10,000 people. You didn't mind. So I looked at doing a podcast of holding intellectual conversations about different situations, about different topics. And so, you know, me as the one who's running the podcast and me as the one who's interviewing people, where me and the interviewer can really get a message out there to help somebody that's going through that may didn't know the information or just need to hear a good word. And so that's the reason why I do the podcast. It ain't really never been about the money, because I feel like if the message is there, the money's going to come, regardless of what people think.
Okay. There's truth to that. There's truth to that.
You know
But
what I mean?
the thing is, with podcasting and even being an artist, what are you gonna do if nobody's listening?
Well,
Are you still gonna strive to get better, or are you gonna get in your feelings and quit?
Oh no, they're never gonna quit.
See what I'm saying? That's a question to ask people.
Yeah.
I mean, like I was saying, my partner and I with the Black Male Podcast, we like close to 170 episodes in. You know what I'm saying? But when you're at episode 5 and you've only had 2 listeners on 5 episodes because you're new, you know, you're still trying to get it. You know, do you quit, or you look at it like, I'm just building? I'm not tripping off of those numbers. I'm just gonna build my catalog. More people quit. More people quit than, you know what I'm saying? Just like when you post something on Instagram, it might be your new video. You love your video. You put it out there. A week goes by and you got 2 likes. Does that discourage you from the video and make you feel like, well, maybe it's not as good as I thought? Or you look at it as if, okay, this is something to build from. Maybe I need to hire a PR person. Maybe I need to hire a publicist. Maybe I need help to get my name out there. I mean, these are thoughts that go through people's mind, but most of the time, people will quit.
You know,
it's like with relationships. A lot of time we end relationships without fighting for something that means something to us, and I'm guilty of that a lot of times too. But sometimes we get in our own head, and we get all of these feelings that put us in a funk where we stop progressing. You know what I'm saying? We always got to be unapologetically progressive, and that comes out easily, but it's not easy always to do.
Right.
That's for any man. And men, a lot of men would be like, oh, I don't have that problem. That's all cap. I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Everybody got certain situations where they're not in motion like they need to be. It might not last as long as the next person, but we all got certain times where we just feel like we just stuck in a quicksand. I mean, it's life.
That's true. Yeah, that's very true. Very true, man. So with that being said, man, as far as how you look at things, I'll tell anybody that I don't bust hammers. I'm definitely against gun violence. You know what I mean? I'm definitely with that stop the violence movement. You know what I mean? I'm definitely against gun violence, man. Why do you think it's a trickle effect that everywhere in America now, all you hear is about gun violence? Even the small towns down south, you hear about gun violence. The bigger cities, you hear about gun violence. You hear about kids 12 and 13 that's able to get a gun. You hear about kids riding bicycles and coming up, you know, shooting people and stuff like that, man. So why has gun violence became so broad now? You know, back it wasn't broad at one time. It was just in certain areas.
No, it wasn't. But my problem with that is how the older generation just wants to finger point. You know, I grew up in New York City. We all had guns, but we used to fight. And after you fight, sometimes you become friends. Now every fight goes to shootouts. But most of us had fathers at home. We had uncles. We had OGs in the streets. Only time guns were really used was transactional. Somebody owed some money, or maybe somebody was getting robbed. You know, you always had crime, but it was over something. Now, person will shoot you over a girl. You know what I mean? They'll shoot you over a basketball game. There's no value of life. There's no value of existing. There's no value of uplifting community. It's every man for himself out here. And there's a lot of these people that are the instigators of this gun violence. A lot of them have no hope. They have no desire for even life. And when you listen to the music, you hear that lack of hope from the males and the females. They're all reaching out without putting their hand out there. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you the pain. They're communicating the pain. But they actually don't want to fix the pain because they don't think it's possible to fix that pain. But we got to rebuild up. We got to rebuild our whole communities. And it starts at home, one house at a time. That's why I always applaud and salute these brothers that are actually taking the time with their kids. We got so many distractions out here. A lot of people will pick this up before they check on their kids to make sure the homework is done. Before they communicate with the teachers, make sure things is going on. Even if you're not a Christian or into none of that, the churches are losing their power. Right? I remember growing up, the 5% Nation was strong. It kept kids out of trouble. It's not the same power. The Muslims don't have the same power in the communities as they used to have. You know what I'm saying? The school system doesn't have any power anymore. So where do we expect the youth to go? A lot of them, they lean to the social media. They lean to hip hop. What's on there? Everything on there is destruction. Whether it's gun violence or it's everybody just having random reckless sex with each other. That's all is being talked about as far as what's popular and what's preached to the masses. And the people that are making money for them, they're sitting there and they laughing at us destroy ourselves in our communities. That's why I said it takes one home at a time. You know what I mean? OGs have to be OGs. You have to talk to these younger people. We got to get these generational gaps, closed a little bit. It's going to take a long time to get it back to where it needs to be or close to where it needs to be. But we got to show care. We got to show concern, starting at home first. You know what I mean? There's no reason that brothers still need to be out here having 8, 9 kids with 6 different women.
Ridiculous.
You can't raise them kids, man. But that's what we put out there in the universe. And now we sitting back like, oh, man, these kids are out of control. What are they doing? Oh, these young ladies, they're out of control. I mean, come on, bro. They had to raise themselves. I didn't have to raise myself. Did I listen to my parents all the time? Hell no. Do I agree with everything they did as far as raising me? No. But I had parents there that was fighting that fight to make sure I was okay. So I saw that. So even though I had a co-parenting situation with my son, and I didn't do all the right things, I can never leave my son. That's still my son. Even at 30 years old, that is still my son. And even on my past birthday, my son sent me a message that actually brought me to tears because he was thanking me for being there with him and have those necessary conversations. Yo, and that shit broke me down like a motherfucker, man. But because I see he starts to realize as he gets older the value of having a father that's there.
Right.
A lot of us, we're not there, man. Then if our son is successful, we want credit for it. That's my boy. That's my nigga. You know what I mean? You ain't do nothing to help that boy do nothing, man. And it's more than that child support check, man. They need your time. They need your guidance. They need your care. They need that love that only their father can give them. And that costs nothing but your time.
That's right.
That's the real problem. All that other shit, all that shit will be solved. Everybody raise their damn children. You're going to have crime. You're always going to have crime. You're always going to have a level of violence. But if we raised our children and maintained our households and wasn't so reckless in how we out here making these children, a lot of that shit will just cancel itself out.
Right, right.
The culture will sound better musically. The movies will have more positive messages within it because we'll stop giving our money to all that negative shit. Why would they want to promote something positive if they're making mad money off negative shit?
You're right.
All they care about is generating revenue. If I make a song about black love and that shit go viral, they're going to get more people to make songs about black love. If I make a song about fatherhood and that shit goes well, they're going to find more people to do something about fatherhood. If I come out here with a great beard and don't give a fuck and I become popular and bubble, watch what happens. Everybody going to put up some money with somebody with a great beard. All they give a fuck about is generating revenue. They'd rather generate revenue destroying our communities, yeah. But if we stand tall on our square they can't make money off that bullshit no more. They're gonna have to have some balance.
Yeah,
We gave them the power.
that's right.
You know what I mean? We gave them the power. Look at the podcasting game. All that shit is fucking crazy. All they do is talk about licking and sucking and fucking something. If they ain't doing that, men ain't shit. Women ain't shit. That's the majority of the shit that's popular right now. We need to get rid of and dead all of that shit.
You're absolutely right. Absolutely right, man. So we're almost out of time, Trey, man, but it's been a wonderful dialogue, man, and I definitely appreciate you coming on and dropping these jewels, man. So go ahead and tell people they can find you, tell them what you got coming up, and then we'll close out.
Hey, go find Tre-Dot on BandCamp, the single Love Story. I'm new on BandCamp. We're trying this direct-to-consumer thing. We got the clothing line, the merch Love Mads coming real soon. The videos is on YouTube. On the YouTube, I'm Hip Hop Dot. My podcast is the Black Male Podcast. I mean, we're streaming on all platforms. We got the live video on YouTube as well. Just follow the brand. Got the website, tre-dotmusic.com. That's going to be launched maybe by the time you really see this. I don't know, but it's the pre-launch is coming within the next week or so. That'll be the main place to check me out where everything is coming, man. We got a release party August 20th. I'm gonna have a live band. We're gonna also live stream that thing. And as far as shows, I'm just gonna throw that in there. I got a show in Miami, Florida, man, September 28th, man. So that weekend in September, I'm gonna be out there in Florida trying to do many shows that I can do in a period of 2-3 days. Because my son is out there in Tampa, so I'm gonna go see my son, get on the mic and rock out with the people a little bit.
All right, you heard it first, man. The Chatterbox with King Jacob, man. Live with Tre-Dot, man. Shout out to his publicist, MJ. Shout out to the Village Global Network. Shout out to Exquisite PR Firm. And shout out to you for tuning in and listening, man. And always, catching the vibe with me, man. Peace and blessings. We out of here.
All right.